And we are live.
Sound minds. Let's get it. It's that Sunday again, man. Your favorite show. I don't care if you don't know it yet, but it is your favorite. Sound Minds podcast. We here with some dope. Well, so we here with one half of the guest. The other one is still here, but he's messing with some Wi-Fi issues, and then we're missing rap poet for the time being. He's coming on a little bit too. But nonetheless, though, man, we got a dope show today, man. It's called All in the Day's Word. Speaking as two dope, phenomenal poets, man, two dope, phenomenal spoken word artists who not only worry about themselves and their betterment, but they also have built so sternly on the foundation of the community of all poets and spoken word artists, man. I've seen them work with so many people just to kind of help them without anything really other than just y'all want to see you get better. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of energy that they've always carried, man. And I've been blessed to know these brothers. My brother Chance, I known him from actually met him through feeding the homeless. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he was out there working hard on the Lower East Side, man, just feeding people, man, or not even just the homeless, just people who were in need, but definitely homeless were involved. And he was out there giving this his time, his energy, you know what I mean? And then Advocate of Words, I met him through performing. But nonetheless, man, all in the day's word, man. I'm gonna let these brothers introduce themselves. Right now, we got Chance, and as Advocate of Words comes through, we'll speak to him as well. My brother Chancito, tell the people how great you are, man.
I'm your number one troll. I'm America's most hated poet. I'm your favorite's poet, worst nightmare. I'm just here trying to do my part. I love the children, but I tell them the same way I tell adults. Your shit is garbage. Your shit is garbage. You know what I mean? I've been doing this poetry thing for a little bit. I think it's going on 20 years. I've just been writing, producing, doing different shows, and traveling, touring. Advocate and myself, we were co-founders and founding members of an all-Latino poetry collective called El Grito de Poetas. And one of the reasons we decided to start that was because a lot of the times when we would go to venues, we wouldn't see anybody that looked like us, spoke like us, or spoke the same languages that we did, whether it's English and Spanish or both mixed together. So at one point we decided to perhaps, what if we had the all Latino Wu-Tang Clan of poetry? And it was like, tons of us. It was like 14 of us at one time. And and then we got together and just started writing, just becoming better. And then of course, as you get older, you start branching out. Advocate and Words and I, we've both have hosted at the New Rican Poets Cafe. Shout out to the legendary New Rican Poets Cafe. So we've hosted there. Chance Advocate of Words currently hosts the Monday nights there. I've been involved with a lot of different work, just mentoring youth, mentoring young people who are writing, even mentoring my peers. Like, if something don't sound right, I let them know, because my whole thing is each one teach one, right? But the other thing is, if you can't accept criticism from me, and I'm your man's or whatever, and I'm gonna keep it real with you. If it's trash, it's trash, but we're gonna work together to make it better. But if you can't accept criticism from me, then there's a problem. And I don't think we're as cool as I think we are. But I'm America's number one troll. You see me on any show, 9 times out of 9, I'm gonna boo somebody on that event. It's just what I do.
The originator of the boo. When you see boo come through the chat, the comments, yeah, that is him, man.
Me. Oh, man. I'm guaranteed to boo at least 7 people in the event. Whether I know you or I don't know you, you're gonna get booed. Yeah, it's funny, right? Because I've hosted so many shows. At one point, I was hosting like 6-7 shows a month. So I would always be like, yo, like, you already know when something's gonna be hot, you know when something's gonna be lukewarm, and I used to tell people, like, I'm so disrespectful, but I used to tell people, look, if you don't see me in the venue while you're doing your piece, chances are I went outside for a cigarette break and I don't smoke cigarettes. You know, so it used to be that type of vibe. And Words and I always we go back and forth with each other. Words compliments me for making him look better as a host because I'm just so rude. But you know, it's what I do. It's what I do.
So we definitely got Words back in the building. We see you taking the walk outside. It's still looking a little choppy on the video wise. If you want, maybe you could turn your camera off, and we could probably hear your audio good without being chopped up. So that we could try that out.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you good?
Or am I chopped up?
I think we good. I think we good so far.
All right, cool. Yeah, sorry. I'm out here. My kid playing ball, trying out for the team, trying to go to the Little League World Series in Pennsylvania, you know, so I'm in dad mode. But I came in to hear about how horrible a host can't is. So I made it on time.
Now, the history between you two brothers obviously go way back. You know what I mean? Can we get into a little bit about that and then how it, grew into, this movement?
Words used to roll.
Wait, you guys froze on me. Go ahead, Champs.
Words used to run with a group called 21 Poets. Words had I don't know what he's doing. I still try to get my checks from mentioning his site. hiphoppoetry.com, hiphoppoetry.com, hiphoppoetry.com. So Words has this site and he was running it for a long time. And through his site, he's honestly, Words is like probably the originator of virtual and online connections, right? Because Advocate of Words used to run this thing called hiphoppoetry.com, and he had a whole bunch of people from all over the place coming together, and they formed a group called 21 Poets. And it was around 2003, 2004 where I was just, like I said, I was doing open mics everywhere, but I didn't see any Latinos. I didn't see any Black Latinos. I didn't see any white Latinos. All I saw was whites and I saw blacks, but I didn't see any of my people. So I was just like, this is weird. So as I was an open mic fiend. Any open mic there was, I was there. Why? Because I needed to make people feel uncomfortable. If you're not making people feel uncomfortable, then you're not doing your job.
You apply pressure.
Yeah, so I go up there and just make people feel uncomfortable. I'll look at the white couple and talk about them in one of the pieces or whatever, or direct the piece towards them, and the piece had nothing to do with them. So as I kept doing these shows, I started finding my people. So I saw these group of people had their own group. This group of people had their own group, and I was just like, "Yo, why we don't have a group? Like, where's the Latino group, right?" And I couldn't find a Latino group, so I was just like, me and a couple of friends just came together. Was like, "Yo, why don't we just form one?" So there's this spot in Harlem called Mocha Lounge, and the brother used to host a spot up there, Matt McCoy, and I asked him, me and a young lady asked him, "Hey, can we hold auditions here, or just for poetry?" And he was just like, "Yeah." He was like, "I already do my erotic open mic, so just have people come out. They don't have to do erotic poems, but if you see a talent that you want to see, then put them on." And that's what happened. So we started seeing a couple of different folks, and Advocate of Words walked in, and I already knew who he was, but I didn't know like his range. Like I knew he was a poet. I knew that he ran this website, and I knew that he did a whole bunch of things. But I didn't know his range, and he came on and he did this piece, and I was just like, I appreciated it because he didn't sound like anybody who was already down or what we were trying to put together. And that was my biggest thing. I don't want any two people that sound alike because we already have that in those groups over there. So I don't want to do what the groups over there do. So I want to do my own thing, and I want to make sure that whoever I put on does not sound like any of us. And Words came on. He was just like, "Yo, love, respect." But then he was like, yo, I got my brothers who couldn't make it, and we're part of another group. Do you mind? So we was just like, just bring them through. Let's hear what they got. And then from there, we just started building, and it was a bunch of us. You know, Carlos Andres Gomez, Fish Vargas, Ovius Maximus, just a whole bunch of other people who I'm gonna completely forget. Royalty.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, Born Majestic, my brother Majestic, he was down. Tito Luna, and then as you know, you have 14 people. People have other obligations they couldn't commit. Cool, you couldn't commit. And then we had, you know, True and the young lady by the name of High Priestess who was all down, and then people started just branching off, doing their own thing, and I respected that. Like, I can't have you commit to something if you got something else going on. So one thing led to another. This group became the core, and then we did our first show. And at first it was just like, yo, like, what are we gonna call ourselves? People was like, oh, well, let's do this. A whole bunch of names, whole bunch of inappropriate names came out too. And we was just like, no, we can't do that. We gotta be marketable. So for a good part of the time, there was a lot of Puerto Ricans in the group. And then one of the guys was just like, yo, what if we just El Grito de Poetas? And I was just like, El Grito de Poetas. The scream of the poets. I said, that has a nice ring to it. And we ran with that. We did our first show March 2004, I believe, or 2005. I think it was March 2005, April 2005, Poetry Month, Fordham University. Wow. Young lady by the name of Bertha Reed, who was a student there, she found us, and she was like, hey, I want y'all to come do something for my organization. And we went ahead, and that was the first show, Advocate of Words, myself, and the whole collective put together as El Grito de Poetas was at Columbia University, the young lady, Bertha Reed. And then from there on, it was just like the doors open. When I tell you the doors open, everybody was like, wait, an all Latino poetry group? What's that? Yeah. Oh, y'all only do poems in Spanish? And then it was funny because everywhere we went and they booked us, we would work for food. Like, that's the type of lifestyle we was living. Oh, y'all ain't got our fee? How about gas money and some sandwiches? Oh, we ain't got sandwiches, but we got a pizza shop we can order from. So this is in the beginning, trying to build a name, trying to do your thing. So we did a whole bunch of shows like that, and then after a while, it was just like we had to take our own advice. How are we telling people to know their worth, and we're not applying that same knowledge to ourselves? And then we just started knowing our worth, and then, then you got Advocate of Words who was being published. So now we can say, hey, we got a published author in our group. Then you had Chilo who won a Grammy. Then it's like, hey, we have a Grammy award-winning writer in our group. Then you have me, who I'm still a troll. Like, hey, you got somebody who will be disrespectful for a whole 2 hours if you let him. And then it was just like, we can host, produce, create, do a workshop, run the workshop, kiss the babies, run program. Like, we were the one-stop shop for all your poetry needs when it came to the Latino community. There you go. And at that time, 2005 to like 2010, there were so many other groups that were popping up, other Latino groups that were popping up, that were coming to us like, yo, what's your formula? And we was just like, yo, transparency. Yo, what's your formula? Just transparency. If Words is going to make $100 from this show, Words will let all of us know, hey, this show is only paying $100. Y'all want to do it or not? And we already knew what we were worth. Like, we're not coming out the house, we're not coming out the house for $5 each if it's 7 of us. We're not coming out the house for $10 each. Unless, and at that time, it was just like you have product, everybody's doing something, everybody's trying to hustle their own way. And it was always love. Advocate of Words plays an integral part. He's a hustler. When I tell you this man is a hustler, I'm going to give him his flowers now because I'm going to talk crap about him every other day. But he's a hustler. Like he would call, he was online all day. Hey, Colgate. This guy got us a 5-year running gig with Colgate. And I was just like, yo, who do you know there? He was just like, I just called. And hey, this is what I do. This is what I can do. And next thing you know, we're at Colgate 5 years in a row. Next thing you know, Words is hustling. We're at Yale 2 years in a row. We're at Princeton 4 years in a row. We were at schools that normally wouldn't accept us any other time. Like we were performing for schools that our grades wouldn't allow us to get into.
Wow.
We were. I remember there was one show we did. Not gonna put the university on blast, but we walked in, and the professor was like, "Oh, could you guys sit down? The poets are coming." And we was like, "All right, cool." Because at that time, we didn't have all this gray that Words is rocking or the grays that I'm rocking, so we looked like the kids. It was like, "Could you guys sit down? The poets are coming soon." And we just sat there. Because you literally just judged us without knowing. Clearly, you didn't look at the flyer that had that had our logo on it. Mm-hmm. And you didn't see our shirts because we always, we dressed the part. So you didn't see any of that. All right, cool. We'll wait for the poets to come in.
I gotta ask you, man. It's actually 2 questions, but I'm gonna hit you with the first one. When did you brothers know, like, nah, this is what it is? You know what I mean? Like the wordplay of things, the poetical aspect, and just being a spoken word artist. Like, when did you individually know, like, this is what I want to do, and what inspired you, or who inspired you, for that matter, to notify yourselves, like, acknowledge, like, nah, I love this. This is what I love doing.
I would say Word should go first, and we haven't heard from Words yet.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, awesome. For me, it was really gradual. I grew up in a part in the Bronx that was like in between a really affluent neighborhood and really seedy type city blocks. And I saw like how the difference between the cultures, how they spoke, how it was different. And I had always had an affinity for it. I always enjoyed that. And I didn't realize that. And then, so the most, I guess, like poignant type thing that happened was I lost my job after September 11th. And like everyone else, I felt the need to reclaim my city. And I found the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. And I saw a bunch of people on stage talking shit. And I was like, wait, I could do that. So I started doing it, and I just really enjoyed it from that point on. I mean, there's a bunch of different things that happened throughout my life that led to that point and have strengthened it. But when I went to the New York and I saw a performance and I saw what they were doing, I was like, yo, me and my people do that on the block all the time. I could do this. And I just kept going to open mics. And then I met people like Chance. And I was like, people like him? This dude's whack, man. They're going to love me. So I kept doing it. And that's what happened. Thank you.
Jason, that dude's whack. I definitely got a chance out here. What?
Usually how it happens.
Yo, you know what's funny though? Just in case nobody notices,
y'all crack with each other all day, man. Oh man.
Eric, I don't know, Advocate. I don't know if you see Chancito's name on this YouTube thing.
Yeah.
It says Chance, mentor to Words. So Chance, go ahead, brother. What's your side of this, man?
So what inspired me? When did I realize? Okay, so trauma was what got me through. So, 3rd grade, my teacher's like, I'm gonna read this book, and at the end of the book, I'm gonna remove the last page, and you're gonna be able to finish. You're gonna be able to finish the book however you want. So I wrote a story about a girl named Jessica Rodriguez. And Jessica Rodriguez never wanted to come to school because she wanted to stay home because her mother was going through some stuff. The next day, every Jessica or a Rodriguez got sent to the principal's office. I was just like, oh, I wonder what they did, right? And then the principal came to me. He was like, hey, so which Jessica Rodriguez is this? I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. I said, that was just a story I made up because the third grade teacher told us you have a license to create any story you want. So at that time, I also knew that if you tell the adults in the school building what's going on at home, chances are they're going to try to remove you from the home. So Jessica was no Jessica, it was really John. And I didn't want to come to school because my mother was in an abusive relationship. But I couldn't tell, Miss Toledo, hey, I don't want to come to school because I know if I come to school, my mother's going to get beat up by my stepdad. So I never told anybody anything, left it alone. I felt, leave it at that. We fast forward a few years later, well, not a few, like 10, 15 years later, I'm on the block. And one of my homies, he's he a hustler. He on the streets, he hugged the block, he do his dirt. And he was just like, yo, what's good? I'm like, what's good? You chilling? He was like, yeah, I'm just waiting for my girl to come through, blah, blah, blah. And he was abusive to his girl. So he goes ahead and he's like, yo, where the F you been? I'm like, chill, bro. Like, I couldn't see that. Because of my experience, I was like, yo, I can't see you put your hands on your girl. If that's what y'all doing, y'all private, that's what y'all doing, y'all private. I ain't gonna allow you to do it in front of me. And I grabbed him, and the first thing he was just like, yo, Johnny, chill, B. I got a gun on me. I'm like, bust off then, bro. Like, I'm not letting you go because you look like a fool doing it out here anyway. The next day, I see him holding hands with her like if nothing happened the day before. Then he comes up to me and he's like, yo, I want to let you know I do this poetry thing down in the village once a month if you want to come through. I'm looking at him like, bro, nothing about you tells me you do anything poetry. Nothing about you tells me you even know what an email is. Nothing that I've ever seen you do on the block tells me you know anything about metaphors, similes, nothing. Mm-hmm. I show up, I show him love, I show up with a lady friend, and she's like, wait, that's homie from the block. I'm like, yeah, that's homie from the block. So this dude was on stage with his poem, and he was like this. The whole time, I'm like, yo, you super scary right now. He's like, yo, chill, you know how it goes. Public speaking is the #1 fear amongst everybody. And I'm like, you're right.
Drop that gem.
I went from just being an open mic whore, going on the open mic all the time. By the second time I went to the open mic, the lady who runs the show, she was just like, hey, I need you to take over this event. I'm like, that's my homie spot. I can't do that. She was like, no, I need you to do it. So I ended up hosting the spot for 6 years, standing room only. It was a nice little spot down in the village, cute. And I started doing that. And what made me realize this was it, besides the third grade event, and the fact that she believed in me to host the event, was when this educator came up to me. She was like, hey, could I pay you to come to my school and do this for my kids? And I'm like, somebody about to pay me to talk shit? Nah, you're not gonna pay me. You gonna pay me to tell them what I've been telling everybody else for the last 3-4 weeks? Because they just need to see you. And then that's when I realized it was all about representation. He worked at a school in East Harlem, and the school in East Harlem, she didn't have, I guess, the resources, or she didn't know what she had around her where she can ask anybody down the block, hey, you a poet, come to my school and talk to my kids. So when she paid me to talk to her kids, I'm like, nah, you don't have to pay me. Like, just buy me lunch. And then that's after buy me lunch, so many buy me lunches. I'm like, yo, why am I not asking for money?
Right.
And then I started getting these mentors. And then the mentors started coming to me like, yo, you shouldn't be doing nothing for free. You gotta be more considerate of your time. They don't have to pay you for your talent, but at least they pay you for your time. And then you start like, you start growing up like, okay, what is my time worth?
Yep.
I know I'm working at this place making whatever, $8 an hour, $10 an hour. What is my poetry time worth? Then you start learning from the OGs. You start learning from, the legendary hosts from the New York Poets Cafe, Nathan Pearson, who that's my guy. I love him to death. When I started, he took me under his wing. He was like, yo, this is what you're going to do. This is how you should host. This is, even when you host, do one poem so these people don't think that you're just a host. They have to also know that you're an artist. They can't just think you're a host. They have to know you're an artist too. I'm like, but P-Man, because I used to hate going to somebody's show. And after every other artist, they're like, yo, I got a piece. Y'all mind if I share a piece? And I'm that asshole that'd be like, yeah, I do mind. This is like your fourth piece. Like, what are you doing?
Yep.
But I had to understand, I had to say you have to give and take, right? So as a host, yeah, you're there to keep the show moving. So you can't make it about you. You want to do a poem every 4th, 5th person. But at the same time, you also have to showcase like, hey, I do this too. This is why I'm hosting. Like, I'm not just hosting by mistake. Like, I know how to do this. So that's when the passion, when I knew this is what I wanted to do, came in. When I started sharing my stories with people, which was healing for me because this is free therapy, but it was helping other people.
And you know what? That's a perfect segue, B. A couple of things that you said. And is one that we kind of talked about before getting on live, is that, so one, that know-how, you know what I mean? That guidance of people being able to guide you. And this is one of the reasons, man, where I felt like it was a necessity to have y'all two come on, because of that superpower that you and words does have. You know what I mean? Where it's just kind of, or does have. Anyway, the way y'all carry yourselves, where you're able to help others, and it really be on some real like, let me help everybody that I possibly can without an agenda being attached to that. You know what I mean? I remember when I was younger, when I started writing, it really started. Shout out to Dad is not now. Advocate just hit me up, said his Wi-Fi is a little crazy right now, so he's gonna try to jump back on, but his Wi-Fi is a little ill. As you see, he's shout out to him and being a father. You know what I mean? Shout out to him doing his daddy duties, man, and his son. He's gonna make that team soon enough. But I remember when I started writing, man, it was just kind of like in junior high, but high school, right? And growing up in the Lower East Side, when you sit there and be like, "Oh, you're a poet," I'm like, nah, don't call me that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like the connotation of poet being soft. You know what I'm saying? And so it started from writing rhymes and all that, but then at the same time, I remember getting older and kind of like embracing it, like, yeah, I am a poet, especially when the term spoken word kind of came out. It was different. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of gave, and then me being a lyricist and be able to write rhymes, man, I remember I remember having an opportunity to get on Deaf Poets, and I kind of ruined that myself because I didn't have that guidance that y'all provide for others. So it's so dope to hear that, you know, the origin of why I started doing it and understanding fully, like concrete, yo, I do this, but I also want to see other people know how to eat, knowing your worth. You know what I mean? Asking yourself like, yo, why am I not asking for money? You know what I'm saying? So I want to salute you on that, man, just because I think that we all need that guidance. And I think way too many times we sit in the background like, yo, I don't want to ask for help, so I'm just going to sit and try to swim through this ocean on my own. And then you kind of either drown out or you learn not to be able to swim the way you're supposed to. You know what I mean? So anything you want to speak on that?
Let me tell you some. Yeah, I'm so glad I don't like too many people because I can name names, right? And I can fight, so it don't matter to me. So I remember when I first started hosting the event, right? I'm like, nobody knows me, but I was going to everybody's open mic. And there was this one dude, him and I already had a conversation about it. But this one dude, he was dope. I was like, yo, that pizza's hot. So my thing is, I have to be able to listen to you for 15 minutes because that's how long your set's going to be, right? So I had called him. I was like, yo, I seen him at a show. I was like, hey, I would love for you to come and feature for me at my little spot, Cornelia Street Cafe down in the Village. The dude straight up looked at me up and down and was like, I don't think you could afford me. And I was like, ooh. I was like, okay, I can't afford you. Okay, I got you. Thank you. I appreciate you. What did I do next? I booked all of his friends and everybody who he rolls with. I booked all of them for a show, right? I booked them for the whole year. Each one of his friends, I was like, yo, you January, February, March, April, whatever. Dude comes to me 3 weeks later. Hey, remember you offered me a spot? I'm like, yeah. He was just like, yo, can I come on? I said, I'm booked for the next 2 years, blood. Like, I can't. And plus, I can't afford you. Right? Fast forward 10 years later, the dude comes to me like, yo, I need you to feature for me. I'm like, hey, I'm big money now. You should have got me like 5 years ago when I wasn't charging that much. Like, what's your pockets looking like? He was like, come on, you still gonna hold that over me? I was like, my thing was, you never treat people like that, right? Yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool. So when I started doing this event, because I know as a newcomer to the game, anytime you wanted to showcase your talent, it was always like, well, how many books did you write? Do you have an MFA? Do you have a writing degree? And I was just like, nah, but Miguelito from down the block spits better than half these Pulitzer Prize winners. Like, why are we shunning on him? So I started doing that. And then I started just calling everybody to come and do the shows. And then it blew up to something. While I was doing that, a lot of people would tell me like, yo, how you giving, like you literally giving the next up and coming host the whole manual on how to do this. And I'm like, yeah, why not? Like, nah, you can't be helping everybody. Why can't I help everybody? If I help you, and this was my whole thing. If I help you and you make it big, when they ask you who helped you, you don't say my name. All that's gonna do is bring my stock up. Like, yo, him? That's the dude? Yeah. Same thing when we started El Grito de Poetas. In the beginning, we were doing money for sandwiches and pizza and, gas money. But now we got playwrights, Grammy Award winners. Everybody's published one way or another. Everybody's doing TV. Everybody's doing, stuff. So yes, that's what we're charging. Why? Because with me and Words, you only get 40 years of experience. You add Chilo, that's another.
Could I ask a question?
Years. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because, again, you spoke about trauma, right? And when people get triggered in their trauma, they go down a whole path that a lot of times has nothing to do with the gem you drop in. You drop so many gems. Can we get a gem on this, brother, right now? You just wrote a book. Like, we could just publish the transcript of what you say. You know what I mean? But you exceeding expectations. But I'm glad you said that you charge now, because when you were saying like the dude looked you up and down and was like, I can't afford you, a lot of people would think that means, oh, you should just do it for sandwiches. You should just do it for 500 or whatever, even though you didn't say that. So I just wanted to salute everything you're saying and dropping the gems, but also for those who is like going to go into the everything needs to be free or everything got to be 50 G's. Could you go into that a little bit? Like, it was basically the tone and the energy and the lack of building rapport, where he wasn't even appreciating that someone's reaching out to me and I'm going to work with them, right? Before I even say you can't or I can't, if we talking and it turns out that I can't do it or you can't do it, then it's always like, maybe next time or whatever. But you get to that point through a conversation. You always honor people reaching out, right?
Yeah. Let's have that dialogue. Let me tell you no. Like, this is every young artist that I've worked with who is now doing big things. Chanel Gabrielle, Ovius Maximus, Rainmaker, Samson the Poet. All these people who are doing their own.
Salute.
All these people who are doing big things. a lot of the times I would tell them, yo, like, there's honor in being cordial to people. Like, my whole thing is, how I'm gonna tell you no? I don't know what day it is. I don't know what time it is. I don't know, I don't know what you doing for me. Like, are you driving me there? Do I have to take the Amtrak? Like, what we doing? So my whole thing was always, let's have the conversation. I tell every young artist, yo, if somebody wants to book you, okay, yes. What day, what time? And then the most important question, because this stops becoming fun and starts becoming a business. And the next important question is, because this is a business and I'm paying, you're getting a service from me. Is there any monetary compensation?
Yep.
Okay, there's no monetary compensation. Okay, can I sell my product? Can I sell my books? Can I sell my CDs? Can I sell my shirts? Can I sell my hair braiding skills? Like, whatever I got to bring to the table, can I sell that there? Okay, you're telling me no. So I can't sell any product. You're not giving me any money. What are you giving me? Exposure. Okay, let's build on that. You found me. I didn't find you. So I'm already exposed. Right? I'm already exposed. You found me. I didn't find you. So how is exposure going to help me? And when you're younger and you have no responsibilities, no wife, no kids, no dog, no car, nothing, you're cool. Yo, I'll go. I'll pay my own way and do everything. But when you start understanding the value and your time, and you have the right people in your ear telling you, nah, blood, like, you can't do that for free anymore. Like, you have to charge. You're providing a service. You don't go to the barbershop, get your hair done, and be like, yo, I can tell everybody else about you. So it became, let's have a conversation. And I'm always honest with people. Younger Chance 2004, 2005, 2006. Yo, where we at? Where we going? Jersey? They not paying? All right, I'm there. I'm going to do this show. 2011, 2012, 2013, Chance? Nah, blood, I ain't leaving my house unless it's at least. But hold on. Is there a cause? Like, are we doing this for the babies? Like, what's the overall thing? Like, what are we doing? Right? Because then I started realizing Super Bowl doesn't pay any of the artists, but they get exposure. If you giving me that kind of exposure, I do that for free in a heartbeat. Because however many millions are watching, even if 10% of those however many millions pay $10 for a product, I've already made my money twice full. So my whole thing has always been, let's have a conversation. And I tell them, and I'm always honest, yo, if I can't do it, I can find you 3 other people that'll do it for that amount.
So you feel like 9 times out of 10, when you book in a gig with somebody, the 90% of it is like, oh, what up, like? The other 10% is details.
That's
I mean, it's like me after this podcast, everything, all the value provided in the community, you and my caller ID. Oh, what up, Chance? Meant to the words. That's 90% right there. You know what I mean? You and Salmon's constellation, 10% is working through. And I feel like people, why does that matter to people? You don't need to know all of the, I mean, you went through every tactical point of what it would be, location, time. These are things that, when we're mentoring artists, we tell them these are the things to consider, that you might actually go broke trying to do the show if you don't consider.
Of course.
But the main thing I'm hearing is, like, if it's your first time reaching out to somebody, think about, are you becoming the person that when you in the call ID, 90% is them seeing your name and being like, this is my guy. Like, this dude is for the community. And don't hit me the first time and I don't know you and act like we do have that rapport, and to the point where you actually might be dissing me or people I know or talking down about my community. Like, it's all good. Like, because you own a venue or whatever it is, like, make that call the one that I remember, that now every time I see you, I smile, I feel respect. And then whatever we got to work out is secondary, right?
It got to a point where I had hosts calling me, right? Because I was hosting at a spot in Queens. It was a restaurant, real sexy Miami type restaurant in the middle of Queens. And people will call me like, yo, how much you paying for this? I said, pay me for this. What? I said, if you knew better, you'd do better. Why am I going to pay you for your venue if I'm coming to your venue and bringing all these people?
Yo, I was about
Why
to
am I
build
paying
on that
you?
right now. I was about to build on that, Chance, because I got to tell you, Chancito, yo, love you, B. Word. Yo, there's so many scams going on and so many people on a sense, kind of in a sense, trying to utilize people's skills. And the young will sit there and be like, yo, like you said, back in the day when we was doing the Sound Mind shows or acolytes, yo, you want to ride out to Philly to go? Yeah, we'll go perform. Go ahead. Right?
Yeah.
Yo, there's people who literally now are trying, they'll tell you like, yo, you were hot. Yo, you dope as hell. Yo, come through to my show, man. I need you to, oh, word, okay, cool. Yeah, we only charging them $50. Hold on, what you mean you charging me? You said you see value in what I do. You're going to charge me $50? Now, if that's not one of the most cokeheadish lines you can hit me with, crackhead lines, and a lot of people, you know, and now, especially with COVID, I've been seeing a lot of I'm gonna call them scams because of what they are. You know what I mean? The 3-card Monty. Yo, do this performance, man. You know, it was an open mic against these people in the third. They already have who already is gonna win the event.
Yeah,
but now they're trying to gather, kind of in a sense, gather your people to go with them so that they can start getting paid through other ways and means. And you sitting there like, yo, this is an opportunity. That's dope. Let me put my mic against somebody else's mic and let's go at it. And you like, yo, hold on, man. Why your people are always winning these open mic competitions? You know what I'm saying? So if you could, brother, please speak on that. Yo, you pay me to perform in my event. Please speak on that, brother.
Yo, so there was a time where, you know, I think poetry has taken me places that I wouldn't have normally gone myself, right? So because of that, I was crazy enough one year to buy a one-way ticket to Miami. I have family down here, you know, I stay here a few days. I called the homie up. I'm like, yo, I need to do a show. Book me. He was like, Chance, I can't book you, but I could bring you on as a special guest. I said, that's cool. I'll do a special guest. What's that, 5-10 minutes? He was like, yeah, you do about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. I said, all right. After that, you're going to pay me. What? Don't worry about it. After that, you're going to pay me. I did the special feature, boom, blah, whatever. I think it was crucial because when I did that event, Lemon Anderson was down here. My homegirl Deborah Magdalena was down here.
Salute.
Another poet was down here, and they were just like, all right, let's do this. So I did my set. I left. So then I asked the dude who put me on, I don't need you to pay me. I need you to put me on to the next spot further north. He put me on. I hustled my way from New York, from Miami, all the way back to New Jersey, sleeping on couches, sleeping on I'm young. I was working for the Board of Ed, so I'm getting my summer money anyway. I had nothing to worry about. I wouldn't do it now. Shit is crazy. But when you young and you invincible, you put on that suit, you ready. What killed me was all these, like you call them scams. So let's talk about it. You pay $100, I'm gonna give you 10 tickets. You sell those 10 tickets to get your money back. So you, as a curator of the event, you have no marketing skills. You want me to market to my own people so they can come to your event, but I still didn't make any money. Your whole thing is like, nah, you don't get your money back. How am I getting my money back if you're the one you charging me to perform? And I'm the talent. So, and I see that a lot in the hip hop community where it's just like, yo, come through, you know, you pay $200, I give you 20 tickets, this is how you get your money back. And now in the poetry scene before COVID, that was a big thing too. I'm gonna give you 20 tickets to sell. And that's how they determine how you perform. So like you only sold 5 tickets, you're going first. Because you only got 5 people here.
Yep.
Ride a Poet, you sold 15 tickets, so we're gonna hold on to you. Because if your people come on time, they're gonna stay in the audience. King Rod, you sold
happens so much. It happens so much around here that it honestly felt like it was a part of it was normal. It was the way to do things, to be honest with you. Around here, I'm talking about around in Hartford, like you know what I mean? Like it was all the showcases are set up like that.
Yep. You sold 25 tickets. We leaving you to the
even with
end.
your top DJs on the radio. You're like
you sold 25 tickets. We leaving you to the end because you got all the people. You got all the people. And my whole thing was just like when I started talking to these curators, and I'm like, yo, why are you paying for the venue? Don't pay for the venue. You go there, you have a meeting with whoever, and I give out all my recipe. Yo, I don't care. Make your money. Get your money. It's not stopping my hustle. I cater to a whole different type of ignorant people than you do. I have to tell people, go in there, be like, yo, I'm going to do a show here, but I don't want to pay for anything. Give me your slowest day. You mean my slowest day? Your slowest day. Your Tuesdays, you paying more than you making? I want your Tuesday. Yeah? Okay, let's do it. I'm going to do it Tuesday once a month. Tuesday once a month, I need you to get 2 bartenders. I need you to get 3 waitresses. I need you to get security because that's how fancy you guys do it in Queens. The guy was just like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'll have 1 bartender, 1 waitress. First show, 175 people show up. He only has room for 125 people. Bar is packed. He looks at me. He was like, yo, I said, don't yo me. I told you. You trying to disrespect.
I told you.
Disrespect what I do. I told you, give me your slowest day. I'll pack it out. You'll make money. You'll be happy. He's like, how you getting paid? I said, you have a PTS system, PTO system, the little computer that tells you how much money you made. At the end of the night, you give me a percentage of whatever you made. That's all I want. Oh, but how does that work? If I make money, you make money. If you make money, I make money. If you make $500 and you giving me 10% of the $500, that's all I make. If you make $5,000, I still want my 10% of that $5,000. It's a win-win. Because if I don't bring in the people and you don't make money, I don't make money. And I need to make money.
Right.
And everybody was just like, yo, like, they looked at it like, who does that? Who has the gonads to go into a venue
That's
and be
called,
like, yo,
I believe that's what they call a symbiotic relationship as opposed to a parasitic. A parasitic relationship is where you tell an artist to pay you money and go broke and they can't even come back and help you.
But I'm gonna give the science right now though. That I'm so glad you called it what it was. That parasitic thought and mentality, right? And it's crazy because so a lot of people don't know the background and the blueprint to putting on a show. First of all, you got to rent out the venue. So when you renting out the venue, depending on whether they got a bar and all that, or depending on whether they got security. So what you're doing is you putting money into this night so that you can rent out this venue, paying for security, paying for the bar, and you're hoping to recoup based off of whoever comes in. So a lot of times when people were sitting there talking about, yo, I want you to perform, I'm gonna charge you 50 and I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna charge you 50 and I'm gonna give you tickets that you got to sell out depending on. So now not only are you getting 50 off of the artist, each artist, right? Depending on how much you're charging, but then you're getting money off of their people. And then on top of that, you're getting money off of strangers that are coming through. So New Yorican, the name itself, a lot of people will rent out the Nuyo. And listen, man, whoever feels a certain way, come get at me. A lot of people will rent out the Nuyo because of the name of it and say, yo, I want you to perform, but I'm going to charge you. So now Nuyo being Nuyo, you already getting traffic. People walking down 3rd Avenue, they walking around looking for a spot to do. So now you're getting all that money. So now not only did you recoup the money that not more than what you paid, but doubled your money from what you paid for the night. Then you getting money if you work it out with the people, the liquor money. Then you getting money. So now you caking while the person performing is sitting there like, yo, I just paid $50 to get in. You shouldn't be paying anything if they're asking you to perform.
Yo,
They should be paying you, if anything. Now, if you have the option and they say, yo, we can't pay you, but you can come through, we got a lot of people, that's on you to decide whether or not. But regardless of what, you should never be paying to perform in a spot that's telling
unless
you
you're a partner.
you're dope.
Yes, unless you're a partner. That's all. And and you broke that down too. Like when you were saying, look, I'm not getting paid. Well, how you getting paid? You got the PTO system. When you get paid, I take a percentage. And that's the other thing we want to say to artists. You know, I'm Mr. like detail, balance it out. So I know you're not telling artists that they don't need to invest. We all invested. This microphone, if you listen to the first season of Sound Minds, it was nothing but jokes on your boy. My mics was not working. When I put $40 into this at Best Buy, it stopped the bullying that I was undergoing. But like,
I probably booed you 6 times. It's all right.
But it's real that like if you are paying, it's because you're becoming a partner in something, right? And if we get together and do a show, we all gonna put some money in and make some money back and split it. But if we lose together, right? That's the difference. Yes. Your model should be based on bringing people in to adore the talent, not the talent paying. Yeah. That's the parasitic thing. It's like it don't make sense.
My whole thing has been if you know how to do it right, you would never have to come out of pocket. Everybody always pays you. And that's the way every venue I've always gone to is like, I'm not paying you as a venue. You're going to have your doors open whether I'm here or not. That's why I'm asking you for your slowest night. Give me your Sundays are bad. Give me your Sunday. Give me a Sunday.
I've had nights where it was only like 3 people there, 5 people there. Can you go into that? What is your formula? And do you make sure you build up a following and make sure your fans, the season, the COVID, whatever, do you make sure that you know people are going to come out before you even approach the venues? Because I'll be real, sometimes I felt bad when a venue paid me and it was like a storm or other big concert that night and they still paid me, but there was like 3 people there.
No, you can't have that conscience though, and this is the reason why you can't feel bad about them paying you because, like I said earlier, they're paying you for your time. You took the time out to go there. You took the time out to promote. You took the time out to actually be there, and this is the other thing. You have a lot of venues who blame you, but when you go check their website, there's not one mention of your night on their website. Right. Anytime I did any venue, it would be like, I need you to promote me on your website. Whether people come or not, I don't care. But I need to see that you promoted the flyer that I gave you, and this is accountability. I would give them a different flyer every week. And I would check. Okay, you put it up. Boom. When I would approach venues, it's because I already know that whatever event I'm bringing there was needed. And not only that, with the team that I had, there was strength in numbers. So Grito de Poetas, there was 8 of us.
Okay.
So I'm promoting, Words is promoting, True is promoting, Chilo's promoting, Tito's promoting, everybody's promoting it. Even if 5 of our own friends show up, that's 35 people in the venue.
Okay.
Yeah. And I always pick a crazy time where it was just before, like, right after supper, like right before dinner, I need y'all to buy something. And they will buy something at the restaurant. You already gonna open your doors. You only have 3 to 4 people here on this given night anyway. So if I bring my people, we're guaranteed 7 people because it's 7 of us. And if we bring 2 or 3 people, that's 21. That's more people on this one night than you've ever had any other night. So you're making some money. You're making more money. Even if you break even, you're still making more money from that night than you've ever had any other time. And that was my whole thing with, I'm not paying you as a venue to open your doors for me when your night is already slow. That's why I would always say, what's your slowest night? I'm not going to pick a Friday night because I'd be a fool. I know Friday nights always get packed. Saturday nights always get packed. But I know that creepy Tuesday. Nobody coming out on Tuesday. Nobody coming out Sunday evening. Everybody trying to get to work the next day. Thursday, maybe you get a Thursday, maybe. So I would be like, give me your slowest night, and then let me make you some money. I made it seem like they needed me more than I needed them. Let me make you some money. I want to make you some money. I want you to be happy. I want you to experience this. I need you to understand. This is for you. I never said me. And he'd be like, oh, what do you need? What do you need?
It's like you reminding me of a basic principle. You just reminded me, my G, like that there's so many things in life is connected. You know, I feel like a lot of people's getting value, whether you're a student, a teacher, a barista, you know, so many different things. It's like you ever go to a restaurant and you ready to give that 20% and up tip, right? And you get to the end of the night and they wrote your tip for you. And especially as a person of color, a black person, you got that thought in your mind, like, wait, did they? And then you like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna go. Your tip's lower than what I was gonna give you, but just the lack of allowing me, right, to give, you hampered me from giving. And it's almost like that's what some of these paradigms are. If you're gonna charge an artist, if you ain't charging an artist, that $50 might be, oh, I'm here. I bought a ticket for my friend to come see me, my girl. I bought a drink. I bought something. Like you basically saying y'all ain't gonna bring any value to the venue, so I'm gonna force you to, right?
Yep.
And it's like if you give people a chance and they never give something to what you're doing, then you got to step back and be like, okay, do I need to force them or do I need to get other people?
Yeah.
Right? Do I need to focus on other people?
My whole thing was just, my whole thing was always like, look, everyone who I'm bringing, poets don't drink, right? The majority poets smoke weed.
I'm dead. I'm going to turn off my computer, throw it out the window. Good night. The season we did 5 seasons. This neighbor right here is hilarious. You know the truth is funnier than the joke, right?
Poets don't drink. Poets smoke weed. So I told the dude from the venue, like, yo, how cool would it be if I gave you a recipe, right? Light skin, I know light skin don't drink, right? So we're gonna name light skin's drink the light skin special, but it's gonna be Sprite and grenadine. Right? But if I come to a venue and my homie got his own drink, I'm buying the drink. So every time I did the venue, the feature, whoever was the main artist, he would have his drink. Jive Poetic. Jive Poetic came to do a show for me. Jive Poetic don't drink. All right, Shirley Temple. We're gonna make it a Shirley Temple. And nobody gotta know what it is. Yep. So we put on a menu list. Jive Poetic, Touch a Jive. 75 showed that night. 75 Shirley Temples sold.
Wow.
I'm talking about dudes from the block talking about, I want to touch a jive.
And you know what it is, though, Chance? There's a problem, Chancito. Us. A lot of times we are the problem. We are, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times, and I say this so often, man, and even with loved ones, man, like a lot of people, man, and it sucks to see it, and no disrespect to any females, and no, it's not about comparison or who's more, and it's none of that. I hate to see my brothers sit there on a skirt and sneaker contest. Like, oh, damn, you wearing your skirt a little bit better than mine. I got to pop out so that I get that attention that I deserve and need. And here it is, you naming drinks after your brothers and after your people so that they can eat, so that everybody eats in the circle. You know what I'm saying? While others are sitting there with that minuscule mentality of, yo, I can't let you shine more than me. So while you sit, and then a lot of times, man, I've had, you know, times in which people sit there and be like, yo, man, I need you for this, that, and the third, and then build it up as if I reached out and needed them. And I'm like, yo, why even do that? Why are we playing games like that, man? Let's be who we are and build together simultaneously so that we could become more dominant together rather than sitting there and try to, you know, size up our sneakers and skirts. I don't wear skirts, so I don't even have to worry about, yo, go ahead, man. I don't even want your attention. I want what I deserve. You know what I mean?
When I first started hosting all these venues and doing all these shows, my whole thing was I want people who are real, right? I didn't ask how many books you wrote. I didn't ask how many MFA degrees you have. I didn't care. My whole thing was like, if you're an artist, you're an artist. And if I can stomach you for 15 minutes, and I hate everybody, but if I could like you for 15 minutes, hey, come on. You're going to come do this show with me. Mm-hmm. And then after that, if I found a show somewhere else and you had the time, yo, come with me. I want you to do this show with me. Every young artist I ever worked with, hey, yo, come with me. I got 7 shows coming up. You coming? Real? Yeah, you ain't got to worry about nothing. You just got to show up. And that was the thing. My whole thing was just let me create a space where everybody feels comfortable regardless of what accolades you have or don't have. Because everywhere else it was like,
finding, my bad.
You know, everybody had their nose up in the air and it was always a battle. I didn't want to do that.
My bad. It's like a delay on my line. But I'm hearing the importance of really seeking people who want to contribute to things. And sometimes I remember KRS-One, the teacher, said, I'd rather have 1,000 real friends besides me than 1,000,000 of your fake suckers trying to ride with me. You know what I'm saying? And it's that thing where, like, sometimes them 2 or 3 people, you know what I mean, that you could just be real with, that you could check each other, that you want to win with, but you want to win so much that, like, you know, whenever you got to have a real conversation, it's all for love. Because I'm not going to let you lose. I'm not going to let you lose if you about to bang your head in the wall, even though you might hate me in that moment. So it's like that 2 or 3 people is what's going to grow into 300 people like that on that wave, and 3,000 and 3 million. And whenever we see, like, you a perfect example, whenever we see other like-minded individuals, it's not because we reached out to you and forced you. It's because you was doing your thing over there. We was doing our thing over there. So when we connect, it's like, oh, y'all on the same page. That's automatic family. It's not forced.
And that's the way it's always been with me. It's just like, you know, being that I've done this for so long, being that I've mentored so many people, it was just like, all right, what's gonna make our show different than everybody else's? The first thing we did was cut out the introduction. Yep. If you step on stage, I don't need you to introduce the piece. And that's the way I will host. Hey, welcome to No Intros. I'm your host. This is a show where you don't need to introduce your poem. If you need to introduce your poem, then you need to rewrite it, because that means you ain't done writing the poem. Just go ahead and go right into your piece.
Smack him with it. He said,
you smacked him with the jam.
I don't need I wrote this on the bus on the way here when I was 7, and you know I had cramps, and then and that was my thing. And everybody be like, "Yo, you wild disrespectful." No,
not at all.
If your poem is shorter than your introduction, thank you for the introduction. Next artist coming up.
And that's not disrespect, because people don't realize that's part of your poem. Like I tell some of my students, as you're walking to the stage, and for those people who aren't, you know, visually impaired, as soon as they see you walk into the stage, that's part of your performance. Yeah. Like in your brain, you're like, oh, I wrote it, and when I say this, no, like in reality, people see you walking to the stage, they hear your story, that completely changes the poem. Yep. So if you are doing an introduction or not, it doesn't matter what you choose to do, but be aware that's part of your performance. Yeah. Whatever you do from the second the crowd sees you, that's part of your performance. That's reality. Yeah. That's not disrespect.
No Intros was one of those shows that changed how people did poetry who came around us. Because people would be like, yo, and they would tell their friends, like, yo, if you dare explain the poem in front of Chance, just don't get up there. Like, he will cut you. Like, he would, I want to hear a poem. No, I want to hear a poem. And, and that was just me. That's how I did it when it came to building community. Everybody who featured had a drink named after them, and a percentage of whatever money they drink sold went right to them. It didn't come to my pockets. It went directly to the artist. So if your drink was Henny straight and you sold 100 cups of Henny, whatever percentage we got from that cup of Henny went straight to your pocket. I made sure every artist got fed. I made sure everybody was comfortable, and that's just the way I did things. And because of that camaraderie with a lot of the artists, it's why people still recognize who I am. Is the reason why I'm still able to do the shows that I do. I'm still able to reach out to different people. I still have a lot of friendships with a lot of the poets, and people know if you come to me, you're gonna get it straight, no chaser. I'm not gonna lie to you about anything, and I think that, like I said, poetry has definitely changed throughout the years, but it's also allowed so many people to heal. This is free therapy. Yes, right? It's free therapy, and I know That Is Not a Noun, he was asking, what's the connection of finding my voice through vulnerability? And to touch on that, I think that when you stop worrying about how you're going to be seen for being vulnerable, it opens you up to a whole different world. There you go. Like, because we have to think about this, right? As men, nah, you can't say that. Nah, blood, like, you can't do that. Like, you can't be vulnerable. You can't talk about, your feelings. You have to leave that for the women writers, because the female writers are supposed to be more vulnerable than the male writers. The whole thing is trauma no matter how you look at it. Yep. So one traumatic experience doesn't negate another traumatic experience. This is my truth. Let me write about what I went through. And my whole thing is just like, while it's healing for me, it's letting somebody else who looks like me understand, like, yo, he's not the only one. Yo, I'm not the only one. Yo, he's going through that too. I thought I was the only one. And then it makes people more, it's just, what's the big thing now? African-American males, black and brown males talking about their mental health. That was taboo a couple of years ago.
Wait, you said that's a big thing? Oh, I guess so. You talking about in the music?
Everywhere
now. In general, yeah.
I haven't even noticed that. I'm glad.
A lot of people talking about it, because truth of the matter is,
you have the front advocates like Charlemagne and all of that. Like, you have mainstream advocate now, mainstream
right.
front.
Who wrote a book on it? So that kind of opened up doors.
But even before him,
right?
Yeah. Let's talk about. But let's talk about all the artists and actors who passed away that we didn't know were going through something. Yes. When Robin Williams passed away, that hurt me. I was just like, Robin Williams, no more Robin Williams? Like, what was going on with him? And then you find out depression, you find out anxiety, you find out all these other things. Chris Frawley, big fat white guy from SNL, when he passed away, it was on depression, alcoholism, this and that. And all those things are intertwined, all things are connected. How many of our Latino brothers, black brothers, what's that? What's mental health? We even afraid to say we have a child, a niece, a nephew who has autism. Mm-hmm. Shit, we afraid to say some of our kids have ADHD. Because there's a stigma. There's a connection. Oh, you got Rob Poet, you got the special kid. Oh yeah, we're not gonna invite you to the party because your kid gonna be wilding out. Right? And even when you have normal kids and they be acting a fool, nobody want to invite you nowhere. But we afraid to talk about those things because we don't want to let people into that part of us. We don't want to let them know, hey, you know, my child is special, but I'm working with him, and this is what we know. I mean, it's just
you just gave me a proud mentor and father moment, because I just like, you don't even realize things. Like, I was literally the opposite of that. Like, I was that dude throwing shows till 2 a.m. and all the kids that couldn't go nowhere. Like, you was good. You know what I mean? Like, you was gonna, like, my thing was the opposite of all these shows where you're told that you don't fit in. You know what I mean? But that's just something me and Light had grown up. You know what I mean? Like, we felt like if you had that power, what is the point? The power is to help those who are still working on it, you know?
Which segues me to actually, so I got 2 questions. One never asked you this, and I was waiting for Advocate to get back on, but I wanted to ask y'all the origin of your name, and then segue into what Rap Poet just said, the whole helping others and the power of building community off of what you do, why you do it. So if you could just give us the origin of your name, and also why do you care so much to help others? And I'm also going, well, before you do that, I'm gonna give Advocate his flowers, man, because I think especially now, man, there's a lot of people going through a lot of things. COVID has locked down the throats of many people just already who was dealing with anxieties and deepness and darkness, and Advocate, for those who's watching and for those who catch this, the brother Advocate definitely does a tremendous job hosting New Eureka. Shout out to New Eureka Poets Cafe, who has been a salvage area for so many people, man. But they're doing open mics on Mondays. Advocate is the host on Mondays. Shout out to La Bruja that does it on Thursdays. La Bruja does it a little different. She allows anybody to come in, and but Advocate does host on Mondays, man, and I think it's dope to give them their flowers. And Chance hosts so many things, man, and now Chance is, for the most part, helping, not catering, but more so focused on helping the youth. He just had an event with some young ones, man, 6 to 17. 8, you said 8, 12? 12. I'm bugging out. 12 to like 17 years old, and competition in regards to like spoken word. So this is stuff that they doing, man. But Chance, if you could give us the origin of your name, and then after that, tell us the reason why you still do what you do for the community itself.
So the name Chance came about because it was, my whole thing was just I was talking to my mother, and I was scary. Like, I was always afraid to do things. My mother was like, "Yo, you can't be afraid to do stuff. You just gotta do it. Like, you can't later on think about, yo, what if? With anything. You want to start skateboarding? That's dumb, but do it. Because you don't want to think later on, yo, what if?
Take the chance."
So she was just like, yo, you have to take the opportunity whenever you can. So it was just like, yo, that's gonna be it. Can't be afraid. You can't think about later on thinking about, yo, what if I would have done that? Like, I was high school. I played high school ball, played high school basketball, and I was my coach confirmed it. I was 5'3", 5'4". I was shortest guy on the team, but I was the fastest, craziest. I was called Mexican coming down, bringing down the ball. I was called everything. I was called everything but what I was. So this one game, I went down the lane. There was this dude. He was like he looked like he was 6'13", but he was like 6'1", right? Big dude. Compared to me, everybody's big. So I came down the middle. He threw me on the floor. Coach was like, "Yo, you tripping?" I'm like, "Coach, that's foul number 1." Came down again, foul number 2. Came down again, foul number 3. Coach, 2 more, he's out of here. And I like talking. I talk a lot of shit. So I'm like, yo, 1 more, he's out of here. And this man's ain't gonna stop me either, coach. So I guess the guy didn't like it. The dude, I went up for a layup, And the dude literally grabbed me in the middle of the air and threw me down on the ground. Coach was like, "Yo, you gotta stop, Chance. You gotta stop taking those chances." And he was like, my coach was so frustrated, and I was like, "Yo, Chance, that sounds pretty cool." The next day, everybody in school was like, "Yo, Chance, you heard what coach said? Stop taking those chances, blood. Like, you need to stop." I was like, "All right." It's like, it was one of those things where it was just like, then as you get older, you try to like figure it out, like, yo, this same chance thing, and it was just like, yo, you got to stop living life thinking what if, right? And that's why I always made sure that if there was an opportunity to take, I'm gonna take it. As far as me building community, it was that one poet who was just like, yo, you can't afford me. I was like, all right. So now I don't want to afford you, but now I'm gonna bring everybody else you like to my event, regardless of talent, regardless of accolades, regardless of whatever else they got going on in life. And I'm gonna do this. And my whole thing was just like, I think it was a selfish thing, but sometimes you have to be selfish in this industry, right? You have to be selfish in whatever you do. In a sense where I need you to be helped by me, because I know that no one's going to tell you how to do things the way I can tell you.
See, and that's the other thing we didn't touch on too, that you bringing it back. I'm glad you said that. Like, there's times where, like, even Rob will tell you, you know what I mean? There's times where I get in the door to something first, right? Now, my whole point, like you was talking about with me and Light and our philosophy, like, our point is to keep opening doors, not just for ourselves. Like, what's the point? You know what I mean? So it's like, if I got that door open and I have a few venues, like I always got people trying to book me. So if I got people trying to book me, right, and I know I'm straight for that month or those few weeks or whatever, and I'm saying, like, I'm not saying you can't afford me. I'm saying, let me suggest some of these other people to you, because they do what I do. Like, I got a set. Tell me what you do. And if you can't afford my prices right now, I guarantee. And that's part of building that relationship. I am not going to let you go until I refer you to somebody else. You know what I mean?
And that's love. A lot of people won't do that.
Yep.
Like I said earlier, I had tons of people be like, yo, why are you helping them?
If your mindset is like that, you actually glad when they.
Your connection breaking up, brother. Your connection's gone. You froze.
A lot of people will be like, yo, why you helping them? Like, why you helping this poet? Why you helping that poet? Why you helping that host? Why you helping those people? Blood, I'm selfish. I want them to talk about me like, yo, who helped you? Chance helped me. Oh, yeah. That's another one. Yo, Chance put me onto this. Yeah, that's another one.
And you do it a lot, too, because there's people who I've seen Chance not even perform on the open mics or any event. And just in the chat room, be like, yo, you working on the book? Hit me up. Let me see that. Let me see that manuscript so I can help you with it. And trust assured, I'm going to be real with you. If the joint is trash, the joint is trash. I'm just going to let you know how you can make it better. And if you don't got that thick skin, by all means, you don't want to speak to me. You're probably right in not speaking to me. But if you want that help, and that's the type of the love and the guidance that I feel like we all become better because of that. You know what I'm saying?
Some people fear that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people fear that type of guidance, and it sucks that that's the way that it is. But you have a lot of people that fear wanting to be told the truth. You know, I know I'm a certified asshole. I got a certificate, I got a badge, I got the whole asshole certificate, I got everything. Like, I know that. But I also know that once you're done with me, you're gonna be a better person for it, a better writer, a better individual, because of what I bring to the table. Like, I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses. I'm not gonna tell you, yo, do this if I've never done it, or I'm not. And my thing is, because I know so many people, King Rob, what you need? You need a left-handed, red-headed Asian that raps and does R&B? Yo, I got you.
Need it. Send it that way.
You've done this work so many years and for so long that you built so many connections. Hey, what you need? You need a right-handed Asian that speaks Spanish and does poetry in Mandarin? I got you. Why? Because I've built so many relationships. I've been everywhere. I've seen so many things where it's like, all right, but if I don't have it, yo, let me call words. Your words. I need an Indian poet with a love for whatever, And words would be like, let me check the New York database, see which one of my peoples is Indian. Boom, he'll give me 7 poets.
Man,
That's
I,
what
I,
it's doing.
I definitely want to give the flowers for your movement, for
Bruh.
I mean the history. We definitely just got a huge history, man. Huge history of your movement and how you connect with the people and how you do this. They say it selflessly. You know what I'm saying? Selflessly.
Mhm.
You know
Mhm.
that this was a pure example of that, brother, and I really salute you for that. It's an honor to meet you. It's an honor to have you on the podcast tonight, to hear this history, to hear how everything just connects, you know. And I think it's a great time to segue into, you know, the last segue that Light Skin likes to introduce to, you know, the ones that is packing the power behind their words.
Right. Right.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's get it. And you know, before I even do that, man, and I want to Chance B. Now I don't say this to people unless I really mean it, brother. I got a lot of love for you. Because not one time since the day I met you has there ever been a situation in which there was never a no. And sort of kind of how like you speaking. If there's nah, I can't do it. Let me introduce you to this person and so on and so forth. And then more so, in a lot of ways, brother, I appreciate you setting off the blueprint because there's a lot of people where we grow up, you know what I'm saying, no matter what the hood name is, but a lot of people we grew up with. And there's a lot of people who I love that I just don't see like, yo, fam, if you hear something I'm doing wrong, guide me the right way. It's just kind of like being in the hood and you see your man hit that first sniff of coke one time and you like, yo, you shouldn't be doing that. You got a family you got to take care of. You should be taking care of that. And if you don't get into those deep driven conversations of, yo, chill, don't do that, there ain't no love there. You know what I'm saying? And it's as deep as that. And it's really as minuscule as, yo, I don't think I like the way you flowed on that. You know, maybe you should switch it up to that. That's just me. You know what I mean? Like, but people are quick to criticize, but behind your back.
But
Never ever.
you can't do that because it's called hating.
Right. A lot of salt, B.
People are soft, yo. Snoop came and made everybody soft. I think that was true.
Yeah.
But everybody's hypersensitive. This new millennium, everybody's hypersensitive. You can't tell people anything. You can't.
And not only that, this millennium also has produced a lot of people with facades. So a lot of times when you know people, you know what I'm saying, like those facades get popped so quick that you like, yo, fam, you ain't never been a thug. Don't play that part now for who? For what? You know what I'm saying? So, so that's that.
So how do you balance that?
Just be yourself.
Like,
how
do you balance that with what we're talking about the mental health, right? The mental health is a lot of times, especially for dudes, letting your guard down and being like, yo, I'm soft. Not soft like how we talking like I'm soft 24/7, but I'm soft in some ways. I need to talk about these things I'm sensitive or these problems I had or these violent things I experienced. And at the same time, how do you balance that with not being canceling everybody and blaming everybody and being a victim while still encouraging people to let whatever their soft vulnerabilities are talk? Because this is something that I'm trying to do. I think all 4 of us are trying to do that. That's why we work with the youth in the arts. You know what I mean? It's like, how do we help encourage people to say, I'm here for your vulnerability and the softness and you not fronting like you hard. Like was saying, this don't front like you something you not.
And that's what I'm saying. Dr. Light does have the prescription. I got a doctorate in telling the truth. So I'm gonna be straight up. Be yourself.
Be yourself.
Straight.
And come to other people that got the doctorate in the truth.
Be yourself.
You feel me? Like you know, like Chance is the literally that's what you came in on is, you know what I mean, we was pretty much giving his flowers, you know, for the movement and just for him being himself and doing
And
what he do
snapping
now,
on words.
and just snapping on him. Look, let him know like nah, come back another time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's work.
It's crazy though. Now
You know, that's
Chancito,
what I came into.
you got one up on words now because words now you never came back. So you know what I mean? You kind of boxed him out, B. Boxed, pun intended.
When you apply the pressure,
I see you. Like I see you. I see what you doing.
when
You ain't
apply the
slick. I
pressure,
see you.
it's kind of hard to stand amongst giants, you know, when you.
Yo, so with that being said, we Chance, we for every MC or artist that we bring on here, we have them spit their favorite 16 or their favorite joint. And I know that you got a lot of ink, brother. So if you would grace us with one of your favorite pieces or one of your favorite joints, one of them heat bangers.
Oh, that no sound effects.
Drum roll.
You forgot your mic is on the desk that you just did that to.
Oh, that didn't sound like a drum roll? What that sound like? A chicken? That sound like a drumstick instead of a drum
Sounded
roll?
like a hailstorm.
It sounded like a rumble in the jungle out this morning.
So my thing is, I've done you know, I've done a lot of work, and a lot of the work that I do, I usually talk about the students that I work with. I do big things with domestic violence because of my mother's situation, and I do a lot of big things with just talking about my mother and trying to give knowledge. And just so I don't know if y'all want me to go the student route. I don't know if y'all want me to go
Knowledge. Take us.
Let's see. I'll do this. So I was part of the 30-30 challenge. So we got to write a poem every day for 30 days. And so part of the challenge with doing that is that you want to try to be as authentic as possible, right? Because when I'm part of several writing groups, but they'll tell you, like, they'll give you a word. All right, so I'm gonna give you three guys a word. We're gonna write.
I'm just telling you, this is part of your poem, Chance. This is part of your poem.
Oh.
Ain't nobody ever speak about your actions. Never told you about your energy. Never pointed you to the straight and narrow path, but expected you to follow suit. The same people will talk about you, tell their people about you, make up stories suspense writers would be jealous of, but you head up high, shoulders back, chin out, walk your own way without the walkway. Tell your story. Show them how homelessness prepared you for cold nights. Tell them not to talk to you about struggle if they know where to pick up their food from. Have bathrooms freely to use and have never missed a night on a pillow. Explain to them how their fortune is different than your inheritance. The only trust you have is knowing depression and anxiety runs deep in your lineage. Let them see the only thing you are being left with is broken pieces of everyone's heart. You'll need to matriarch together. Show them how an absentee parent means nothing to you and how you overcome every statistic placed against you. Tell them you never put your hands on your partner, dropped out of school, did drugs, or maybe weed because that's legal now, and how the only gateway drug you did was learn to read. You learn how to read people, read signs, read energy, read body language, read temperament. Nobody ever says you came from all of that in your own way and made something of yourself. Validation is not based on what others think of you. It's about what you think of yourself. Sorry for overstepping, but I figured one of you may have needed this.
Them daggers are deep, brother. them swords are samurai type. Yeah. Chance, thank you, brother. Thank you for not only I don't only thank you for your presence here, brother. I thank you for your presence on Earth itself. You know what I'm saying? Your presence is much needed in so many ways. And just your loyalty to human beings, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's not that is a very extinct feeling where people don't care to care for other people. It's just more so the selfish. You know what I'm saying? And as we all know, man, fish swim in their sea outside of their waters, they drown within their own breath because they can't breathe. So when you're selfish, only when you can get away with things are you even thought about or I don't want to say cared for, but only then can you operate. But outside of being selfish within your own lane, that's when you feel so awkward. And I'll be real with you, brother. You made it so even the awkward of the awkwardest can never sit there and say, yo, this dude Chance is not a real dude. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you 1,000%. And I probably I'm selfishly taking this time out to give you those flowers now. You know what I mean? But come on, brother. Whatever you ever need from us, man, you already know what it is, man. Shout out to Words, Advocate of Words, man, who I wanted to ask him about his name too, man. Freaking guy with the Wi-Fi. But but go check him on Mondays if y'all want to be part of the open mics for New Yorican. Go to his page, Advocate for Words, Words with a Z at the end. Dope community, man, that he has created, man. You see some superhuman people that probably before this would have never even tapped into those inner selves. And they out there, yo, when I tell you, man, it doesn't matter community, it doesn't matter sex, religion, culture. People that you thought would never speak up is out there cursing the world out because they want their voice to be heard, man. And his brothers like Chance, his brothers like Words who allow that to happen. You know what I mean? So go check him out, man. New Yorican. Check out my brother Chance, man. Go check, he
for the people. For the people.
Yeah, he's always about the people, man. And I don't know if you want me to say this, but his wife is such an ill baker, and she's so sick. I had a cupcake one time. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was going to sleep outside for another 3 nights until she made another one. It was just like, I need another. So my brother's doing this thing, man, and on top of that, he's all about. That
sound illegal as hell.
Yeah, she's nasty, but you know what I mean. And Chance help her out too. Chance be helping her out too, man. It's just dope to see that couple the way they are, building amongst themselves, man, and with their kids, man. His children are so dope too, man.
We got the bootleg Hallmark, story, man. I've known my wife since I was 9, maybe 8.
What?
Yeah, man. We grew up in the same neighborhood, went to the same after school program. But y'all know how some of these women are.
What you saying, brother? What you saying, brother?
She was a senior and I was a freshman, so she wasn't trying to hear me.
Well, definitely.
You said you was a young boy.
Definitely shout out to your queen, and shout out to the queens out there. Yeah. We had a queen on our podcast last week, young entrepreneur who came through as I ordered our anniversary gift.
She delivered already.
We had our anniversary last Saturday, and we ordered live on air on Sunday. Go check out that episode.
Wow.
We ordered this I'm talking about rose covered bear.
Miss Danny.
Boxed Up Blossoms. Shout out to Boxed Up Blossoms. And here's the most special part about this one right here. Light it up. Light it up. It's embedded with LED lights. I'm telling you, this is definitely an amazing gift.
Fire.
If you got an anniversary coming up, any type of event that you need flowers and custom,
and that teddy bear is all flowers
forever too, like 2 years plus type, John, as long as you take care of it,
so it don't waste the flowers.
Stay just like this.
That's right. Shout out to Box of Blossoms, man. Everybody go to boxofblossoms.com. 15. There's a percentage off if you put down Sound Moms on a promo code. Diana Lee, who's a phenomenal person who I seen grow up, man, since 14, 15. She was one of my former students, got her own thing going on, her own entrepreneurship, you know what I mean? And this is the type of product. So if y'all watching this, trust and rest assured, Father's Day is coming up, birthdays, graduations, you might want to get you one of these. You know what I'm saying? So You know, and this is the type of energy Sound Minds is all about, man. As you see, the people we bring on, like John Chance Acevedo, he is like-minded. You know what I mean? This is what Sound Minds is about, man. And seeing Boxer Blossoms and seeing her grow and blossom in her own right is an amazing victory. You know what I'm saying? In so many ways. So
Shout out.
Man, shout out to her, man. And
yeah, we need y'all to watch that last podcast and see her whole story too, because you'll really realize she's for you. You know, the young brother is actually, I had a brother in the Bronx today. I was about to send him to our homie's spot in the Point, but it's not built yet. So we got some great things. Y'all need to check these previous podcasts.
Check out.
I
got to shout out.
Because Hector Castillo Caraval, who was also here, one of my other former students, he just yesterday, no, I'm lying to you, Friday, had a GoFundMe up, reached his goal. So he is opening up his own coffee joint, his own coffee cafe with his own coffee that he makes at the Point. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him, man. So this is what it's about, man. That was young entrepreneurs.
A chance too, because the Point is where Flaco Navaja had a series. You know, shout out to Latera too. But like Chance, Flaco used to be in the New Eurekan too, and still does. You know, went back and forth. But like Lemon and everything, and they all came out to the Point in that community where people was like neglecting it. People don't understand the New Eurekan is very similar, like height of the crack area, height of the crack related death. And poetry and art, the type of what you do is what takes these places and brings life back into them. I want to shout out our sister La Bruja too. Check out our Sound Minds episode with her. She's doing it, and she's still at New Eurekan rocking it too through the whole pandemic. I do want to shout out my wife for getting her 6-year degree certificate yesterday. She worked very hard for that. I seen her do it from scratch. I want to shout out all the Connecticut Center for Nonviolence certificate cohort, great artists coming out teaching, carrying on the legacy of King. But and giving out these shout outs, I want to say to you, do you have a book or something? Because with all the gems that you dropping, I feel like we can't just, you know, tell people just to watch this. I want people to rewatch the gems you're getting, but also see them if you do have them written out, you know, where they could carry it around or something.
I'm working on so it's funny. I had one book that I sold. And that was just putting stuff together for a quick tour. I have 3 books in a queue that I haven't pulled the trigger on.
Okay.
And it's just because I'm just like, I really don't know why. Maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit for being better than Advocate of Words, because if Advocate of Words can sell a book, I mean, anybody can sell a book. I'm talking shit because he ain't here. But I usually always say that I help him write his book because I'm his ghostwriter. Nah, brother, like I'm always obtainable. I don't even sell my books anymore. I give them out. Like if somebody wants a book, all they do is reach me, send me their address, or send me their work address, and I send it to them. For me, it hasn't been about the money for a long time.
Is it like a mixture of gems and poetry? Or
it's mostly poetry and haikus. Like I said, a lot of poets do the 30-30 challenge. So I had one of my buddies. He wanted to write 100 haikus in 5 days. So every day he would throw me 20 prompts. So I did 100 haikus, and just to be an asshole, because I told you I got the certificate. I did 300 haikus in 2 weeks, and he was just like, "Now you're just showing off," and I'm like, so I got that. I mean, I got Blame It on April. This is a book that I put out a while back, and it was just a 30-30 challenge that I did for Poetry Month. So if anybody wants a copy of this book, just reach out to me. This is 2015. That's how old it is. But it's new to everybody else because y'all ain't never heard.
Exactly. I was about to say that, bro. Like, it's 2015 in most of the world. There's 8 billion people. They still learning how to read so they could get their hands on it in the future.
So I got that book. I got 2 books in the queue, 3 books in the queue that I'm working on. I just did the 30-30 challenge this year, so I may put that in the book. And with all these writing workshops that a lot of the people that I've seen come up are putting together, I've been doing that and just helping them out, spreading the word, doing what I do. But yeah, I'm easily reached. John Chance Acevedo on Facebook, FIJ Sweets. That's my wife's cupcake business on IG. I'm usually managing that, and yeah, man, y'all want to shoot the shit, y'all reach out to me. If y'all want to, you want to talk bad about me, just make sure you do it in a poem form so I can correct you and be like, nah, you're not gonna talk shit about me like that. You're gonna change that adjective, make it something a little bit more.
See, post battle too. It's called a slam. Post battle too.
But yeah, just I'm here, man.
That's what's up.
I never tell anybody no. I tell them not right now.
Right.
I never tell anybody no.
But not in the Jay-Z form though. Not that way. He just but Chance, with that being said, with the 3 books that you have in the chamber, you got to take that chance, brother.
I do. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And let me know, yo. As a matter of fact, we'll put it out here live. I'll throw the idea out, brother. If you want, we could do a Chance light 50-50 book. You know what I'm saying? And just go back and forth. You know what I mean? If you ever want to, brother, whatever you got, whatever you need, I'm here. Man. You know what I'm saying? So let's make it happen.
And now that I know that, some of you guys are strong in Connecticut, I'm gonna throw some people your way. We got some young folks that need some guidance.
Yeah, Rainmaker came up here too. Abio Doom be up here. Matter of fact, Abio Doom's gonna be here Juneteenth in the city over with one of my mentees rocking with him. But I'm gonna be doing Juneteenth in another. Like you been up here though?
Connecticut?
You been up here?
Yeah, I know a couple of spots. Bridgeport.
So you never been to Hartford?
I've been to Hartford.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Pull up.
So now next time you up around the way, you sound Mine's Constellation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You an affiliate with the flag. So
let all you guys know, I'm currently in Miami. I'm out here. I moved out here not too long ago.
Everybody in Florida and Miami right now making me jealous.
Let me wrap it up. We can chop that up on the back end.
Yeah.
Make sure everybody check out the next episode. And with that being said, 1, 2, 3, sound.
That's